Hello, before the video starts, I'd like to just give a slight disclaimer. I'll also be attaching the vampire bloopers I made in the first Vampire Hunters video I made about vampire abilities. There will be at the end of the video, but this will be explaining the detective abilities in Vampire Hunters 2 Remake. Aside from those, the timestamps will be in the description, and my Discord server will be also in the description if you want to join and be part of my next video, maybe. But aside from that, please enjoy the video. Thank you so much for watching, and this is Detective Abilities in Vampire Hunters 2 Remake. Starting off with the list, we got Hunter's Mark. After shooting a vampire with Hunter's Mark, they will appear to be marked, and you're able to see them through the walls, and they'll have a little arrow. Everyone will be able to see the vampire for a short period. Now, you'll be able to see him for a short amount of time, and I'm pretty sure this ability has a cooldown, but I don't know how long the cooldown is. Unless there isn't a cooldown and it just keeps marking the vampire over and over again. That's Hunter's Mark. Next up, we got fuck me. Alright, next up on the list, we have Agility. Agility, all it does is a passive ability. It makes you shoot slightly faster. It has a faster reload cooldown, making you be able to shoot like a second or faster, I'm pretty sure. Pretty broken, but that's Agility. Next up, Explosive Bullets. Explosive Bullet does an AoE damage, and it does extra damage to any vampires you shoot, and it has a long cooldown of, I believe, 25 seconds. The AoE damage can scale up to other vampires nearby, and it does extra damage, and it still does bleed, depending on the vampire ability. If the vampire is immune to bleeding, it will not inflict bleeding, and that's pretty obvious. That goes for all vampires. And as you see, explosive rounds do extra damage to the vampire, and it does extra damage to nearby vampires. Next up on the list, we have Mercy Shot. Kinda good, actually. Mercy Shot will spare the life of innocent survivors. Meaning, even if I shoot anybody of any innocent survivors, it will just come off as nothing. It will do 0 damage to them, instead of penalizing me for shooting an innocent. And it's pretty useful for figuring out who this vampire is. It just spares the life of survivors without punishing me for shooting them. That's Mercy Shot. Next up on the list, we have Crippling Shot. Crippling Shot is an ability that slows down vampires for a short amount of time, and it has a cooldown of about 10 seconds, I believe. All it really does is just slow down the vampire very tremendously. I think it's like a 50% like movement speed reduction, but that's Crippling Shot. Next up, we have Holy Bullet. Holy Bullet is an ability that when you land your shots, it has a cooldown of, I believe, 15, and Holy Bullet will cancel any abilities for a short amount of time. And I think it's like 5 to 10 second long of disabled abilities. So upon landing my bullet, it's a 20-second cooldown. He's not able to use any of his abilities for a short amount of time. That is Holy Bullet. Last but not least, we have Blinding Fire. Alright, now Blinding Fire is an ability that if you were to shoot a vampire with it, you have a cooldown of, I believe, 10 seconds, I think, or 15. I don't know, doesn't really matter. But upon landing your shots, it will temporarily blind the vampire. Or, in other words, blur the vampire. This is I'll show you guys what it looks like when you're blurred as a vampire, but this is what it does. That's what it looks like to be blinded as a vampire. You just have blurred vision. Another thing I'd like to cover is CTW's comment on my vampire abilities video. I want to thank him very much for letting me know a little bit more details, and I'm going to be covering these right now after this little cut. Now, I actually did not know these abilities had these other abilities to them, so I'm here to cover some of them with you guys right now. But thanks again to CTW for leaving this comment and letting me know. Alright, in order to fix this, I will be covering Wind, Venom, Thunderstorm, and Clone Master, and cover up all of the other things that I missed about those those abilities I just called out right now. So first off, we're gonna talk about Wind. To start off with Wind being a very fun ability, and in the video I didn't show too much of its potential, but they said to use shift lock or first person. But basically, Wind, not only can you double jump with it, you can also dash side to side with no cooldown, and it's actually pretty nice. But this is Wind. I heard Wind's cooldown it has a cooldown for each one of its moves, but not between each single direction. Meaning, like, dashing in different directions doesn't have a cooldown, but each direction does have a cooldown. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's Wind. Well, this is Venom. I don't think I really need a demonstration for this, aside for the fact that, like, it's a passive ability. But aside from being able to throw acid balls and stuff at infinite ranges, that whenever you grab a player, it actually, there's a passive ability that upon grabbing them, they actually lose HP over time for a while upon grabbing them, and that's actually one of the Venom's passive abilities that I forgot to cover in my last one. But I don't know, I felt like that needed a demonstration, so on to the next one. The next ones are being Thunderstorm and Flame. Now, Thunderstorm will upgrade at level 150. It will go from Thunder to Thunderstorm, and Flame, I believe, will upgrade from Flame to Meteor, I think. Now, I don't know about Flame upgrading to Meteor, because I heard that it upgrades at like level 200 something, which is pretty far up there, and it's pretty broken, but I'm going to cover Thunderstorm. I will tell you guys what Flame or Meteor upgrades sooner in a different video. Maybe like vampire abilities that are unobtainable, or event vampire abilities. But for now, we're going to be covering Thunderstorm, Flame, well, Thunderstorm and Clone Master. Next up we have on the list is Thunderstorm. Now, Thunderstorm, the upgraded version of Thunder, has the ability to strike an area, I believe, 3 times instead of 1. And it is actually confirmed that Thunderstorm and Thunder will actually buff during rainy weather. So instead of striking once, it would actually strike multiple times. Yep. Dealing damage continuously for 3 times, I believe. Yep. Oh, 4 times. I guess it's 4 times. Alright, well. And as you saw earlier, it was actually buffing me. So, if I were to do that again, it's actually a slight speed buff to your teammates. It can buff your teammates, and yeah, it's actually pretty useful. I did not know this until now, that it could actually do that, but this also works in indoor maps as well. So, that's Thunderstorm. It strikes lightning, I think, 3 to 4 times. It does more damage during the rainy weather, and it can buff other teammates. So that's Thunder. Last but not least, to fix everything that I've just cleared up so far, we have Clone Master. Also, if you're wondering what Spider and Chain is, I'll be going over those soon, so don't worry. Now, if you didn't know, I absolutely shitted on Clone Master in my last video, but it turns out it's not that bad of an ability now that I figured out there's a few more uses for Clone Master. The damage so it doesn't stun anymore, which is fine because it now does damage in return. And you could use your clones to spot players who are really far and you cannot see. So let's say you're alone with another player, which is my alt account. Let's say I don't see him over there. You could use your clones to find people, but you could actually turn into one of your clones or switch places with them, as I was told. And you could just switch places with your clones, meaning it's like a small teleport radius. I think you need to be in a certain range to teleport to a clone, but to show you guys another demonstration, I will do it again. So we come over here, summon my clones. You could actually switch places with one of your clones by pressing R, and it's actually quite useful. I didn't actually think that you could do that. And the clone's damage is actually pretty broken if you replace damage with stun, because it replaced the normal stun with damage, and I think it's actually a pretty decent ability. Pretty viable in a lot of cases, but that's about Clone Master, and this is about the end of the video now. I want to thank all of my friends here before the video ends. I want to thank all of my friends here for joining me, helping me record this video, and supporting my YouTube grind set. They've been a help to me along the way, and I just want to thank them very, very much. This is all of them. But this is to wrap up the video, and I'll be linking my Discord server in the description. If you want to join and maybe be part of my next videos, but let me just. Thanks for watching.
No begging,
Scarecrow,
please.
Scarecrow.
No
How did you get?
paparazzi.
How did you get core blocks?
No paparazzi.
How did you get core blocks? Please give me core blocks. I want core blocks. You're rich. Please give me core blocks.
Please give me